Hello, this is a video in which I shall try to develop my own solution to this Lab 10 CS1124 for winter 2022. I've got this open so I can refer back to the steps. Heavens no, I'm not going to remember all that. And also in the browser next to that, I've got our graphics reference. You have this on paper. You also have a PDF that I emailed to you along with the graphics. Now these windows I'm going to try real hard to remember not to click on the X and close them because I'm going to need those all the way through. This window I can close. This window is where I have already saved this skeleton version, outline version of lab10.py. This is basic stuff that I'll go through very quickly and very briefly in just a second. But what I wanted to show was this lab10.py file is saved in the same folder as graphics.py, otherwise it won't work. Now you are excused. Bye-bye now. Now, got this window, this window over here, and these two side by side ideally, so that I can look at this and take from this, the little sample program. Packs a punch. It's got lots of stuff in it that we will probably need to use in Lab 10, if not almost all of it. From graphics import star, that says we're going to be using the graphics library and every bit of it. The star is the wild card. Then we've got to have def main, and after we have a main program, we have to call it with main. So it has both of those pieces. Now the other stuff, starting with step 1 over here, you can read all this stuff. It tells you what to name the file, and it's got to be in the same folder, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to dive into step 1. Create a GraphWin graphics window object that's at least 500 by 400 wide, which is not, in which the width is not equal to the height, and we want it to be light blue because it's the sky. Okay, since it's the sky, that actually is for my step 1. That's a nice, convenient name that's short and easy to type. So I'll just name my graphics window itself the sky. Sky equals GraphWin, and the centerpiece is going to be the billboard. Billboard! Exclamation point. And these two numbers are the width and height, but they're not immediately apparent in this. When you look down here at GraphWin objects, which I'm going to be looking a lot at this reference, this says when you make a GraphWin, you need a title and a width and height. And here's their example again using numbers. I strongly recommend that you don't use literal numbers because those are going to be harder to maintain, harder to change and all that, and harder to use as parameters. So I'm going to set up symbolic constants, and I shall call them such. # SYMBOLIC CONSTANTS. There. The width I shall experimentally try 800, and we shall see. And the height experimentally will be 500. And then I'll make my sky graphics window width by height. Like so. And back to their example program here. The next thing they do is start drawing a circle and all that. So it looks as if this is going to ideally appear without anything special going on. Let me just go ahead and run this and see if it does appear. Must be saved. Save it. There it is. And that's actually a decent size, width and height. So that's good enough. It's not closing when I click on it because I didn't tell it to. That's another thing in the that I'm going to borrow over here. To pause it and wait for the mouse, I'm going to have to say sky.getMouse. That reads a mouse click from somewhere in my sky window, and then after that I want to close it, and that will make it go away. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about once I get that typed in. Oh, let me be a good example to you. Everything needs to be documented. Wait for the mouse, click, and then close the window. There. Now run it. Run module. Save and run. And there it is. Now I'm going to tell you when I'm going to click the mouse. I'm going to click it 1, 2, 3 now. You see what happened? After I clicked the mouse, then that satisfied this get mouse statement, and then it closed it. Nice little neat way to close up shop. And this window is actually just going to be more in the way than anything else. Maybe I can just click and get on top of that and it will stop. No, I couldn't be so lucky. Okay, what next? I still haven't finished all of step one. Step one, color the window light blue to be the sky. So that means we go back to our graphics reference, either on paper or the PDF. In the GraphWin objects, GraphWin, plot pixel, here we go. Set background color. Set the window to the given color. Default depends on your system. And here's an example. Ours will be just like this, except it'll be sky. And instead of white, I want it to be light blue. So I can do that with that still on the screen. Sky dot set background, camel cased, and light blue. Will that work? Well, there's one way to find out. Run and see. Oops, crash. Has no attribute set background. Well, the very idea. Apparently, I don't get to spell it the way I choose. I have to spell it the way it shows up in the documentation. So picky. Run module. There. And that's light blue. And I didn't see any red paragraph of death back there, so I can now click on this window and declare that step one is now completed. And yeah, this window's getting get away every time, so I'll make it go away every time. Anything else we need to steal here? I don't think so. We do need a circle. We do need a circle, but that's for step two. Put a round moon in the sky toward the upper left corner. Color the moon in its outline white. So there's the step two. Make a circle. A round moon is going to be a circle, and they already have a circle. We're not going to do our circle that way. First of all, I'm not going to call it C. Whoops, what am I doing up here in step one? Step one, I'll even label the steps. Make the sky. After we make the sky, let's make the moon. Okay, moon equals, and it's equal to a circle. And it needs a center point, moon center. That's a great name for a moon center point. And it needs a radius. I'll experiment with that. That'll be trial and error. I could parameterize it on height, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to say it's 30. Might be too big, might be too small. We'll try it. Now then, I use moon center, but moon center does not exist. So I'm going to exist it. Moon center is a point object. They do what I call constructing a point on the fly. I don't like that. That's making a point object inside making a circle object. I like for all of those to be separate because they will be done sequential, whether they separate them or not. So it's got to have to make the point first. And I am going to parameterize that. I'm going to say that that is width, spelled correctly, divided by, and I'll try this at different things and see. Width divided by 8, maybe. And height divided by 7. Will that work? Who knows? But I do know, I do remember, look at me, that you have to tell the moon to draw itself or you don't get to see it. Moon draw. Draw yourself in the sky. Where else would you draw yourself? And we'll try to run that and see if that works. Now, a couple of things happened here. Yes, that works, and you know what? I'm satisfied that I'm going to go with it. But what did not happen was it did not stop after step one. It did not stop after making the sky. To make it stop, I'll have to do another get mouse. Sky, not slide, but sky dot get mouse. Whenever you want it to just pause and let you see it and wait for the mouse click, then you do sky.getMouse. So I'm going to do that down here too. Even though I've got an extra one down here, I might have to click the mouse twice to get out of the whole thing. But I'll worry about that later on. Sky.getMouse. Now, that's a little early because after I make the moon, I need to color it white. Moon dot. And I don't remember how to color it white. So I look at my graphics module. Circles, Here's how you make a circle with a point and a radius. You can get the center, you can get the radius, you can get a clone of a corresponding point. That sounds a little complicated and everything. I see absolutely nothing about color. But the reason they labeled this 3.3 is because this is a child object type. This inherits from the more general 3 graphics objects types. It's like dog inherits from animal, if you remember that example from class. And look at this. The very first method available is to set fill. It's for some object dot set fill and then the color you want it to be. My object is the moon, and I want that to set fill to be white. And while I'm at it, here's set outline. That does the same thing except does the outline. No, I'm not going to do both. I'm going to do one at a time so you can see one at a time. Oh, it's waiting. Look, it's waiting for the mouse click. There it is. And now the moon is white, but its outline is not white. So I'm not completely done. Another couple of clicks will make it go away. Because at the moment, we've got an extra get mouse in there. But I also, in addition to doing the set fill, I need to set outline to be white as well. Moon dot set outline, also white. Now, run that. Run. Click, and there it is. Solid white moon with a solid white outline. Click, click. And it looks like I can move this window way down here so it's not so obnoxious. There. I don't want to move it too far. I might not be able to bring it back. Now, that's it for the graphics reference for step 2. Step 3 says draw a thick dark line from the middle of the graphics window down to the bottom. Draw a thick dark line. So this will be step 3. Draw a signpost. I guess that's all one word. Who knows? A signpost is like a line. So I'll need to make a line, S-I-G-N-P-O-S-T, camel case, equals line, and P1, P2. How about point 1, sign point 1, S-I-G-N-P-T1, S-I-G-N-P-T2. Now the reason I put those there instead of height divided by whatever or whatever is because these two things are point objects. Neither one of those is a number. So I've got to make a sign PT1 point object, SIGN PT1 equals, and here's where the numbers come in. Here's where I specify the coordinates of, let's pretend that this is the graphics window right here. I want the top of the sign to be right here, right smack in the middle. You get right smack in the middle, I got to go over width divided by 2 and go down from the top. That's the y coordinate. The x coordinate is how far over you go from the top left corner, and the y coordinate is how far you go down from the top. And I want to go height divided by 2 down from the top, like so. There's the first point. I need one more point. SIGN PT2 equals another point. This one requires a little more thinking, a little better typing. I still want to go halfway across, but I would want to, the other point, the end point of the signpost is going to be way down at the bottom. So the first point, the one I already have, PT1, that's right smack in the middle. PT2 needs to be way down here at the bottom because I'm specifying the endpoints of the line. So that goes over width divided by 2, but it goes all the way down the full height of the window because this coordinate system, remember, is upside down. And we'll see if that works. After I have a signpost, it's got to draw itself on the sky. Like so. Or so I hope. And we shall run that and see if it works. Or see if it even compiles. Any typos? Not so far. Yeah, typos. And now I do need to see this window. Ooh, it is not defined. Okay, thank you. Now go away again. Which one was it? WID, this one. WIDTH. I heard you yelling at the screen. You saw that, didn't you? Run, moon, signpost. There we go. And it is black already, so I don't have to do anything to change that. But it's supposed to be thicker. So at least 5 pixels wide. I'll make it 7 if I can figure out how to do that. Signpost dot look at the graphics reference for lines. That'll be our starting point, so to speak. Where are the lines? Here they are. Constructed, but we've already got that part. Into arrow, no arrowheads, thanks. Get centered, no. No endpoints. We've got to look and see if it inherits something that allows us to say change the thickness. And that's up here at graph when objects. Graph when plot pixel, set background, close, get mouse, set mouse, get key, set chord. No, silly me. It doesn't inherit from graph when object. That's our whiteboard. These graphics objects, those are the toys we have to play with on the whiteboard. Set fill, yes. Set color, yes. Set width, that's the one. Finally, set the width of the outline of the object to the desired number of pixels. And I was going to try 7, I think. So I want to set width, not on the moon, set width on the signpost to 7. Let's see if that's nice and thicker. Run module. Click, yes, that's thick enough. Okay, so let's say step 3 is done, and we move on to step 4. Oh, I didn't say sky.getMouse. I wouldn't have noticed it on this one, but I'll notice it if I don't do it before step 4, because that's going to pause it before it does whatever I tell it to do for step 4, which is to draw a rectangle. This is the longest one. Draw a rectangle that sits centered on top of the billboard signpost. This would be the billboard itself. Should be at least half as wide as the entire graphics window and at least 50 pixels tall. So what I'm going to do is shoot for exactly half as wide as the graphics window and exactly 50 pixels tall and see what that looks like. So step 4 is to draw the sign itself. And that's going to be a rectangle. Sign equals rectangle. And for the rectangle object, I do believe what we specify are opposite corners. That's an oval. That's text. There's rectangle. Constructs a rectangle having opposite corners. So here's an example of opposite corners. Here's one corner. Here's the opposite corner. See what I'm doing here? Top right, bottom left. Those are opposite corners. Or I could do top left, bottom right. Either one. I'm going to just call them corner 1 and corner 2. I'll be more specific. Sign corner. S-I-G-N, corner 1. Which has to be a point object, not numbers, but a point object. Sign corner 2. And then go back and make those happen. Those don't exist yet. Those both have to be point objects. I'm trying to move this graphics window up. There you go. Sign corner 1 equals. Now I got to think. It's got to be a point object. I'm not asking the user to click on it. We're going to calculate it. If it's going to be half as wide, let's say again that pretend that this is the graphics window. If it's going to be half as wide, then it needs to start a quarter of the way over width-wise. So the x-coordinate is going to be width divided by 4. And the other side is also going to be width divided by 4 from the far side. The far side is all the way, look at it this way, I call it bouncing. We go all the way over to the right, that's width, and then we back up, width divided by 4. So I'm going to specify that as, you know what? That's the other point. That's not this corner. This corner, scratch everything I just said. This corner, the y-coordinate, is how far down we want it to go. And if it's going to sit on top of that signpost, it's got to go exactly half of the way down. So that will be height divided by 4. I did all that heavy-duty mathematical thinking for nothing. Now I need it, corner, the opposite corner. That's the one I was jumping the gun on. Corner 2 equals point That's the upper left corner, and that's going to be what? I just got through figuring it out. Width over, and then back up width divided by 4. Width minus width divided by 4. And just for safety, I'm going to put parentheses around that, even though it will do the division before it does the subtraction, just in case I don't trust it. Now, that's just the x-coordinate, how far over it went. I want it to go down just as much as it did before. I said height divided by 2, I think, and typed in height divided by 4. There. I want it to go down just as much and then back up 50. So that will be, I'm saying all this stuff as if it's actual factual truth. This is all me thinking out loud, and we shall see whether or not that works. Height. You know what I would tell you to do if we were in the lab. Draw a picture. And now I wish I had drawn a picture so that I wouldn't have to try to do all this stuff in my head. My head just can't handle it. Height divided by 2 minus 50. It served me right if that doesn't work. And I should have drawn a picture and taken a picture to show you a picture, because that got awful complicated in a hurry. And the chances that that's correct are pretty slim, but I'm going to try to draw it anyway. Sign dot draw yourself in the sky. And let me see you. Sky dot get mouse. Okay. Cross your fingers for me. Or against me, your choice. Moon, post, sign. And that'll do. Yes, yes. It's sitting on top of the post. This is 50. I'll presume that's 50 pixels. And here are the opposite corners I told it to draw. That one and this one. And you can go back and review that if you didn't see what happened there. But this is halfway, a quarter of the way across, halfway down. This is 3/4 of the way across, and halfway down, less 50. And click to make it go away. Okay. I don't think we're done drawing the sign yet. This, we've done that. Billboard itself, it should be at least 50 pixels tall. Got that. The billboard sits on top, does not obscure it. Got that. Color the billboard brown, and the outline some lighter contrasting color. So to color it brown, after I make the sign and before I draw it, I want to color it. And I'm going to assume that's the same thing as with the moon, the set fill and set outline. So without even going back to my documentation, I'm going to copy my own work up here and say for the sign to get to be brown, it'll be set fill brown. Because they both inherit from graphics objects. Rectangle's a graphics object, so is a circle. So they share those methods. Sign dot set outline. No, not get. Set outline. And that'll be yellow. Seems good enough. Run module. Click, click, click. Whoops, I broke it again. I bet you saw a typo. Rectangle, yeah, set line or whatever that is. So I make this go away the hard way. O-U-T-L-I-N-E. You spotted that. You sly student, you. Okay, moon, post, sign, and there it is, brown and yellow. And then it goes away. That was color billboard brown, outline some lighter color, contrasting color. This billboard border should be at least 3 pixels wide. I'll do you one better. I'll make it 4 if I can remember how to do that. We set a width right here for the post. So I've copied from the circle to get the colors. I'll copy from the signpost to get the width. So instead of signpost, it's just the sign this time. Set width. And I forgot what I said already. Let's make it 5. Is that the minimum? Man, I have the memory of a fruit fly. At least 3. Well, 5 is at least 3. So we'll go with that. Run module. Save and run. Click, click, click. Okay. So that's all step 4. Maybe, I hope. Yes. Step 5. Pound sign, step 5. What's that supposed to do? Write my name. Write your first name in the center of the billboard in bold. Your name should be the same color as the billboard color, which is yellow. Make the font enough to be seen easily, but not so large that it touches the border of the billboard. That's a lot. Let me see if I can get my name in the center of the billboard. A very bright and clever student noted that you don't have to do calculations on the coordinates. You can go to your handy dandy graphics reference and look at the rectangle methods. There is a get center point, so I can get the center of the sign, or at least I think I can. Sign center, and that will be a point object that we get by calling get center on the sign, SIGN dot get center. Now, if that works as advertised, then what that should do is get the point that's right smack in the center of the sign we just drew. And now it's in a point object called sign center. Why do we want that? Because to make a text object, if I recall, the text object needs an anchor point, which says that that's the center of the text. They should have called that center point or something. And then the text string itself. So I'm going to say that our sign text pardon me, is a text object. What a surprise. And its center point is the center point we just now calculated. It's the same as the center of the sign itself. That's a tongue twister. And Solomon's having a rough day. I'll let him see his name in lights, so he can be the first name person. Solomon. Bless his heart. And while we're here, set text, get text, set face, set size. I don't know what size is good. I'll try their 18 and see if that looks good. Set size, sign text. This is a lot of typing. Set size. We'll try 18. See if that's big enough. And also set text color. I don't know why, but instead of set fill or anything like that, it's got its very own method. I don't know if set fill. Oh, set fill has the same effect. You know what? Just so that they're all similar, I am going to use set fill and see if they told the truth. You sign text. There we go. Dot set fill. And try that as yellow. Yeah, that is a huge amount of typing without trial and error. And I'll press my luck and go ahead and try to draw that. Sign text dot draw. Well, it says it's drawn on the sky. It's not really. It's layered on top of our rectangle for the sign. But anyway, ideally it should work. It's easy for me to say. Yeah, that should work. No. Never say that. You say, oh, I hope that works. Uh-oh. Read paragraph of death already. No, I don't think so. Click, click, click. Come on, Solomon. Come on, Solomon. Click. Oh, yeah, that's good. I like that well enough. Well enough to move on and see what else we got. Is that all we got to do for the text? That was step 5. Write your first name in the center of the blah, 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 blah. Oh, and bold. I forgot to make it bold. We got to look at text and see how to embolden it. This. It's right in front of me. Set style. Bold. So, after set fill, and these attributes here, I think they can be done in any order. Just make sure you do them all before you display it on the screen. So it's the final result is what we want to see. And this is set style. Bold. Let's see if we see a difference. Run module. Okay. Click, 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 click. Yeah, that shows up even better. It looks like it's as thick as the outline. Not that that matters, but is it good enough for me to move on? Yes, okay. Now, step 6. After they've written their name, we copy over it. They, who's they? After we've written our name. Step 6. Read mouse clicks. What else are we doing here? Read mouse clicks. And display a flying saucer. Read mouse clicks. Display a flying saucer. Okay, now that's down the road from here. Change the text on the billboard. So the text is already there, and it's called sign text. Sign text. And we want to look at the documentation for text objects. How do you change it? Here's text. Set text. That should be easy enough. Sets the text of the object to string. So we're not making a new text object. We've still got the same one that said the name Solomon. But now I want to set the text to something else. Click. Make it pretty. Click 2 points. User knows what they're supposed to do next. And you know what? I'm going to test just that part. Sky.getMouse. Just to make sure it changed the text on the sign. Run module. Incremental development. One baby step at a time. There we go. It did it. It did it. So now we're ready to do the rest of step 6, whatever it said to do. And then read the user's next 2 mouse clicks into 2 new point object variables. So 2 new point object variables. PT1, I don't think I've got a variable called PT1, equals, we read the mouse clicks. That's a little bit subtle. You might have to read through several of these. And when you do, you go full circle, so to speak, and realize it's back to what we've been using all along, wherever it is. Get mouse. Yes, we've been using get mouse without paying any attention to the point. But what it does, it actually sends back the point object where the user clicked on the screen, and we can store that in a variable for later use if we want to. And that is what we want to do. We want point 1 to be where they clicked on the sky dot get mouse. See, we've been doing sky.getMouse all along, several times. And that does wait until the user clicks on the mouse. But what it's not doing is saving the point object where they clicked. We want to do that now. So we get that one for the first point where they click, and then PT2 will sit and wait until they click it again. Sky.getMouse. So now we've got 2 points where the user clicked, and we go back to the instructions. Never get too far away from the instructions. Click 2 points. Read the user's next 2 mouse clicks into 2 new point objects. Done and done. Use these point objects to create and display a new oval object. Silver on the inside and gray outline. So the graphics object reference for oval says you make an oval with 2 points and store the oval you got in a variable. Our oval is a flying saucer. So that's what I'll call it. Flying saucer is an oval object. And I've already got the 2 points. I did those in advance this time. PT1, PT2. Those are the 2 points where the user clicked the mouse. So there's my oval object. And I'm eventually going to draw it, so I'll go ahead and put that down here before I forget. Flying saucer.draw. In the sky. Where else would you expect to see flying saucer? But really, before I draw it, I need to color it. And the colors it needs to be are something. Silver on the inside, outlined with gray. So the inside of my flying saucer, FLYINGSAUCER dot set fill is the one that colors on the inside. I think I've got that memorized now. Silver, which we hope is a color it recognizes. And set the outline is flying saucer dot set outline, and we're setting that to gray. Once again, lots of typing without testing, pressing my luck, hoping for the best. Run module. Okay. Click. Solomon, here we go. Click 2 points. I shall click here and here. And there it is. That is a big flying saucer coming down to attack Earth. And it'll be a different oval, of course, regardless, I mean, depending on where you click when you're running the program. You could even make it cover up the sign or even cover up the moon, whatever, make it down on the ground. That's the user's choice, because they're the ones clicking the mouse. That's what, step 6? It's a flying saucer. Change the billboard text to Mars attacks. Okay, so it looks like that's the last main piece of step 6. After we draw the flying saucer, then I got to change the sign text yet again. What was that? Set text? I've got to forget that. Set text. And we're setting it to Mars attacks. Like so. And hope that that doesn't break anything. Run, save and run. Click. I'm going to make it closer to Earth. I'm going to put the flying saucer. Click here and click here. Mars attacks! And then click to make it all go away. And that's the end of step 6. Step 7, add another element of your own choosing and design your picture. Maybe a ground of green grass at the bottom. That's easy because that's just a rectangle. A yellow star to go with the moon. That is hard. And I have seen at least one yellow star. And I appreciate the extra effort you put into that. Thank you very much. Be creative. When the mouse is clicked for step 7, yada, yada, yada. Why am I waving hands? And figuratively with waving the mouse. Because step 7 is up to you. I don't want to take all your fun away. So this particular solution in this particular video will have step 7. Add my own element. ... And I'm not going to put an element there. I'm going to say that that's it. That's it for now. And that's our complete solution. And all I got to do is figure out how to turn off the video. If you have questions, you can speak to me about it, but I will probably start by referring you back to the graphics reference manual, which we have here, and the assignment sheet, which we have here. And if those don't solve problems, then we will take it from there. Okay? See you later.